not making alpha bracket is essentially the same as dying, so fair
True.
enough. Um, we'll say Seal the Deal rather is currently 3-2. Pandemonium is also 3-2, but the way things stand right now, if the things were to end right now, Pandemonium would be making it to the beta bracket, and Seal the Deal would be going to alpha. So everything on the line as we head towards this first matchup. Play on Blitz on Umami Ruins, and the lineups here, or at least the weapons out here. Flake, I know, does very well with this leader. I've seen him before, but Pandemonium, both sides, fairly conventional.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the Dapples action we're seeing today. Oh, they just exploded. My bad. Type and Flake are going to be backing up here. Wise decision. But Pandemonium isn't, they don't quite have the clam economy yet. I mean, they do have this one power clam, but other than that, I don't think they're going to be able to sustain a push unless they take it a little bit slow here. Pumpkin said, girl, I don't want to take it slow. I'm going to explode everybody in front of me here, and they're gonna get a really, really good stagger going on. Ooh, 2 down to that roof slider as well. Pandemonium in a really, really good spot, although they also just went 2 down. There's jumps coming in. They're trying to sustain the push a little bit here, but I don't think any clams spawned, except for like that one right there. I think this push is cooked.
And one heck of a way to start. I mean, you got yourself up to 59 remaining, which for an opening push is fairly solid. I mean, you do get the benefit of getting essentially two power clams and more. Box going down to a reef slider. If you haven't seen enough of a reef slider, well, good news, you're going to see more of it today as Pandemonium starts to crumple down on numbers. It takes about a whole village and a half to go for this one player on Pandemonium, but it does happen. Seal the Deal still a few numbers down. Typh goes deep in enemy territory for a power clam, and but now it's only up to Flake to get that through, and with a knee leader and with nothing but a knee leader to defend yourself, maybe it's not going to be too good of an idea to try to back that push up, so you're going to back off instead. 71 remaining, also fairly solid, but not quite the lead just yet, but there is 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
Indeed, indeed. Looking at the situation that Pandemonium finds themselves in, they're already 3 down. Quite a bit of a scrap fest going on in mid as well. But Seal the Deal, they're trying to seal the deal. I'll stop. But they're going to reef slide in, trying to open up that basket for them here. And the cooler coming out as well. Typh and Artemis trying to keep the front lines active. Ooh, wait! They just exploded back there. I don't even know what got them. But their backline onto Pandemonium is down. Flake hopefully going to be able to score the power claim, and they do. And they're going to get set up there onto that little dome, that little top area. Devastating there for Seal the Deal, though, going 2 down. Their backline, their Dapple's going to go down too. This push, despite them getting the lead here, they're going to have to hold it down. They're going to have to hunker down in mid if they want to keep it.
I was hoping you saw that suction bomb because it was right in front of it, but it does eventually knock a player down for Pandemonium, and that's what's been rough for the team in Teal so far, because they've been losing numbers one by one, and it's left them staggered. Flake with another pick there, and it's a wipeout. What's worse than a staggered, having all 4 players go down like that, and now you have an excellent setup here from all the players and Seal the Deal. The way you have that backline backing off anything that comes through for Pandemonium. You have the rest of Seal the Deal starting to find clams. You actually have 1 player sent off to stimulate this clam economy. You're up to 13 remaining.
Oh my gosh. Nino got so excited. Oh, you're back.
What? I'm here.
It's really funny. No, you're here. It was like your mic peaked and then you glitched and you went to the astral realm. It was really funny. But
I do that every once in a while. It's fine. I just never.
Yeah.
You never happens on stream.
That's true. That's true. You know, sometimes I also ascend to the heavens, but nobody knows. Speaking of ascending to the heavens, Seal the Deal is trying to ascend to alpha bracket here. Look at all this aggression. Typh is, I mean, they're trying to defend their basket, but Pandemonium manages to get through. Okay, Pandemonium going into the last minute or so of this game. You have to get a better push than that, y'all. 59 remaining, nothing to sneeze at here, but you're going 2 down, or excuse me, you're gonna go 1 down, you're losing mid, you're losing the paint control. Box here is on this little island on top mid, fighting for dear life, but you're gonna need more than map control to win at Clam Blitz.
Absolutely. You do need to actually get those clams towards the basket, and you have more clam economy, and there's a lot of things we can talk about with Clam Blitz, but Seal the Deal ultimately, I want to say there's like a solid line that Seal the Deal has made here, and I'm glad we switched over to this because there's like a imaginary line that Seal the Deal has made that Pandemonium has yet to break out from, which is interesting. I mean, Seal the Deal has locked him out so well that like anything that comes up to him is getting shut down fairly quickly here as they get one more clam into the clam basket, and that should be the end of that push. We don't see anything else coming up for him, but good enough. Pandemonium still has a long ways to go.
My gosh, I was about to applaud the E-leader there onto Seal the Deal for how great they are at knowing when to back up there. They did get taken out, but still, I mean, because of that, Seal the Deal here has an airtight defense. Pandemonium isn't able to crack that. Oh, they're throwing the power clams at each other. That's a little victory dance, but Pandemonium not even able to crack that basket there with their power clam, not even able to extend this game into overtime. Seal the Deal very convincingly pretty much locked out Pandemonium for most of that game, taking game 1.
It's a great start for Seal the Deal. I mean, I already mentioned it earlier, and I like seeing teams with matching emotes, but that's neither here nor there. One thing for Seal that's working out so well for them is that they have this imaginary line, and they have stuck to it so well that Pandemonium has trouble breaking in. It takes a huge numbers disadvantage from Seal the Deal for Pandemonium to make their way towards the opposing clan basket. But the thing about Seal the Deal is that they are locking that line down so well that there's nothing allowing them to break out from it. Or nothing allowing Pandemonium to break out from it. I mean, right here, you have them farther back, but you have to be able to maintain this. And one thing the reason they weren't able to maintain it was because earlier they were getting picked off one by one, and that staggers you. Then you get wiped out. That's even worse because you have nothing to set up with, even if you do get staggered. And that's what's been working out so well for Seal the Deal. I mean, they just keep Pandemonium back one way or another, and this is why they get up to 13 remaining.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love talking about the imaginary line. I feel like that's where a lot of teams go wrong, where they kind of make a line, but then they don't respect it. They don't respect the own line that they set up there. And what's interesting is that whenever one member of Seal the Deal pushes the boundary of that line, they try to push forward how much control they have a little bit. The rest of the teammates either send them out as like bait, send them to the wolves to try to draw attention in and maybe get a pick or two off of that, or they do it all together. They're really airtight in their control and their formation that they have going on. So going into this Seal the Deal, I'm expecting to see the same thing here, but Makomar can get a little bit dicey, especially trying to control the stacks, trying to see whether or not I want to lock somebody out, because Zones is a little awkward with that because the objective sticks in mid, literally. So hold on, this is the craziest opening I've ever seen in my life. Who's going for the crazy flank all the way behind? Jorian, where is that person behind? Yes, they pinch. Oh my gosh, Artemis, the craziest flank I've ever seen at the start. Look at that paint in Pandemonium spawn, and they're still alive. What's happening?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Grace. If you hadn't brought it up, I wouldn't have noticed it until it was too late. That is something I almost never see in any level of competitive Splatoon, but I like that we're seeing it. Pandemonium knows that, or Seal the Deal knows that if Pandemonium goes one player down, it becomes very difficult for them to set themselves back up. So you know what you do? Send Artemis all the way down in the Kingdom Come, and we'll see what comes out of it. And it's working out decently well here. I mean, you're still losing players left and right, but it's only in a trickle here, so or on almost a 3-down situation, but it's still a trickle for Seal the Deal. Pandemonium needs to break through at least a majority of them to get themselves to where they need to be.
I'm so interested by the fact that they aren't really going right here. As I say that, though, the crab is trying to get type out of here. Oh, into Pumpkin's loving arms. Oh, the triple. Oh. Beautiful, beautiful. I was going to say, honestly, I was confused by the fact that they weren't pushing their own stack, but that makes sense. They were kind of baiting them into it to then collapse back in on them. Really, really smart move there from Pandemonium here. Oh, they punished Typh there, running in for their own cooler there. So now that cooler lays there vacant. Nobody's going to be getting a nice drink. I'm dehydrated, so the rest of Seal the Deal dehydrated, but not dehydrated enough to not push in here. Dragon trying to get a pick there onto Pumpkin there. They managed to get the Reef Slider out, as we know, because of the Reef Slider nerfs slash buff, you know, the damage buff, but the paint nerf. They don't cap by themselves, but Seal the Deal is ready to follow up off of it, and they do manage to cap, if just for a little bit there, so that Pandemonium can't extend their lead.
Oh wow, quick snipe there from flank, as I was going to say. Something about Pandemonium so far is that they're playing fairly patiently. They want to let Seal the Deal try to set themselves up because they know that, hey, if we're getting... If we're... Okay, wow, another quick snipe there from flank. And again, another player that on Blue Sky I did talk about at one point, say about... That's one of some of the best leader play I've seen so far. And this goes to prove it. I mean, it's more excellent stuff that we're seeing from Dragon now. With these Dapple Doolies, almost gets a triple. I'm instead going to walk away with a half pick. I'm going to call it an assist because that's what the game calls it. Pandemonium still going down left and right, back and forth, but Seal the Deal might be able to hold his... Okay, yeah, you definitely will once you get that reslider going down.
Oh my gosh, okay, managing to keep the zone. Okay, Flake painting it by themselves as Dragon pushes back the members of Pandemonium. That Sprinkler painting for dear life here. Pumpkin trying to get some picks with their Zuka, not able to. Seal the Deal's in a really good spot here, Nito. I mean, it's ticking down, less than 20 remaining here. Their Wiper's gonna go down, no Artemis, but 2 down on Pandemonium. The Reflighter's coming out, but I don't think they can cap by themselves. They can't, they get canceled. They get completely taken out here, 5 remaining. They aren't able to cap the zone in time, and that's it. Seal the Deal, punching in their ticket to Alpha pretty much here. Pandemonium, it is play all 3 as we know, so Pandemonium can still take a game here, but Seal the Deal, effectively winning this set 2-0. Wow.
The scariest thing about Seal the Deal in this game is that it felt like at any point throughout this second game, they could just lock in, snap together. And even though Pandemonium looked very strong in that second game, and they absolutely did, I'm not going to discredit that, Seal the Deal just said, all right, well, great, cool lead you have here. I'm just going to snap it all in half. Pandemonium actually went for something similar to what Seal the Deal did in the beginning, and it worked out. Actually kind of worked out for him. I mean, you did disrupt Seal the Deal long enough to where Artemis is now playing an isolated matchup. No one there to back him up, but Seal the Deal, again, it just seemed like at any point throughout this match, they could just snap themselves back into place and then take the rest of the game away from Pandemonium. And it's really scary when you have a team that can, at any point in the game, say, that's a great lead you have. I'm going to take that from you. You're not getting it back for the rest of the game. We're going Alpha Bracket.
Yeah, something interesting these replays are showing me here, Nito, is that as after Pumpkin got that really awesome triple there and that awesome double there as well, it felt like something in Seal the Deal clicked. Maybe they started like hyper calling out this Carbon because they realized how much of a problem it was. Maybe they just decided to paint them out and completely overwhelm them so that the Carbon couldn't get in here. But like, look at this. Artemis opts to throw the hammer at Pumpkin instead of the person fighting them. I think that's Seal the Deal realizing that the Pumpkin can come in and do so much damage that they wanted to counteract that. And it won them the game. I feel like Pumpkin wasn't able to get in as much past that halfway point because of the countermeasures that Seal the Deal was doing.
It's so, again, it's very, and then, you know what, to Pandemonium's credit, I do like the fact that you brought in a crab to try to mitigate what Seal the Deal has been doing. I mean, you do want a long-range solution to Seal the Deal because you don't want to go in head first. Seal the Deal is a solid brick wall at this point, so a crab is a very good adjustment to make, but ultimately you are playing against one of the most all-around solid teams I've seen so far as we head into game 3. Tower control, Hagglefish, and not much to play for here except positioning because it is play all 3, and all 3 of these games do matter in the end.
Yanks here on this Stamper. I love these weapon choices and I love the specials as well. Oop, they just blew up. I'm sorry for talking about you. But they're poor defenseless heavy here. Stuck on this tent. No, everybody's jumping to them. Okay. They safely jumping. That's good. The Wave Burger's coming out as well, trying to get something going here. But Seal the Deal is angry. They're trying to clutch up this set 3-0. They do not want to lose a game here to Pandemonium. They're trying to lock them out. They're already chipping away at this checkpoint, despite going down one member. Seal the Deal. My gosh, they're really locking out Pandemonium here.
It's funny because this is the game that in theory you should be able to just like mess around with, and that I think is what this Kraken is. Whoa, okay, wow, crazy, easy little swipe there. Going to take Flake off the tower, why don't you? But Seal the deal here. I like their experimentation here. I do like the fact that we're seeing the Kraken leader. Not something you see very often, but it's always a treat to see whenever it comes out. But Pandemonium still recognizes that there is something to play for here, and they are sending their players up. Pumpkin, I do like what we're seeing from this Carbon Roller, especially with how dangerous Carbon Roller can be at that range, forcing one player to back off. And well, it doesn't result in the pick. You do at least have one player backing off and giving your team more space. Oh, that's an unfortunate reslider as it doesn't go too far there, but you do at least get the lead.
Oh my gosh. The lead for Pandemonium here. Oh, and picking off Flake is so huge. The E leader is so scary on tower control. One shot could be the entire push is dead. So Artemis here trying to make something happen here. They're trying to pay for the special, it looks like, but they're going to crack the last checkpoint here. Oh, wait, the hammer. Okay, Artemis is able to stop the tower here. But Pumpkin wreaking havoc onto this tower and not able to get any members of Seal the Deal, though. My gosh, a huge wipe, but a huge lead for Pandemonium here. Tower control is really tough. It feels like you have to have control of a bajillion angles to even keep the tower safe remotely here. And going up against an E leader when you're the one who needs to be pushing into them, it can be tough here. But Seal the Deal. They're going to have to be able to use this E leader to get themselves in, not just defending, because they are the ones back, but they just exploded actually, so I did lie. But Flake here is going to have to try to hold it down, going to have to maybe crack it in and get Pandemonium off the tower because they don't want to be KO'd.
And I mean, at least, okay, never mind. I was going to go on a whole tirade about Flake, but I suppose it doesn't really matter because the rest of your team can do the job for you, which is a great thing to see if you're an anchor player, knowing that you can have that confidence in your team to just send them out in front and say, whatever, go, my minions, and then they just shut everything down in front of you. So I suppose everything's going well in Seal the Deal world. So 2 minutes to go. Shelnix here with the Stamper has a great view, but they do get spotted out with that hammer throw. Not gonna get them picked off, but you do at least scare them into jumping out of harm's way.
Oh lord, Pumpkin's gonna go down. That's one of their front lines here. The reslider coming out trying to again stop this tower from pushing anymore. Artemis forced to back up as well. Their friends too. They're pretty backed up here, but jumping into one another, trying to keep mid just a little bit from Pandemonium here. But Seal the Deal was not able to extend their lead by like anything really. I mean, looking at these two leads, looking at the scores. I can speak. I know what's happening. I love Splatoon. But looking at these two scores on the scoreboard here, Seal the Deal has a big lead to tackle. They have 2 checkpoints remaining. They have to crack both of them. And with Pandemonium breathing down their necks here, this last minute is not going to be easy for them.
Absolutely not. You have a minute to go and all to play for Pandemonium. They have the lead, and they have a fairly convincing one at that. They're up to 40 remaining, so very good spot to be in. Remember, Seal the Deal can easily flip the switch just like that. We saw that in Game 2. We can possibly see it in Game 3, but Pandemonium, look at that. They're very comfortable here. A sea of purple, magenta, pink, whatever color you may see through your screens. Was it?
I think close enough.
It is close enough. It's one of those colors. It's one of the colors ever. But Pandemonium covered in...
Ooh.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, I spoke too soon. Thanks,
we talked about the
commentator.
color pink too much. Now they exploded. Oh my gosh. Okay, Seal the Deal. Going back into this, Nito. Listen, I mean, we've seen them clutch it up before. Can they do it again? Pumpkin here trying to have an explosive play onto the tower. Ooh, not able to get tight. Oh, the reslider coming out just in time. Dragon helping the tower. But, oh, the GG specials. The GG Reef. Oh, how many people did they get with that reslider? Pandemonium. The perfectly timed specials at the perfect time. There was no chance Seal the Deal was going to be able to push there. Pandemonium. Oh. Yes, Pandemonium taking the scoreboard scared me. Pandemonium taking 1 game off of Seal the Deal here. Nicely done.
That is perfect stuff from Pandemonium, and a good thing to see, especially after the first 2 games. You're kind of looking at that game 2 and thinking, all right, we have a better, more cohesive game plan as a team of what we're going to do, where we're going to position ourselves, what we're going to do as soon as we get into those positions, and how we're going to maintain and hold these pushes, these retakes. And I like that I'm seeing that from Pandemonium. It at least means that whatever comes up, wherever you land on day 2, because it will be alpha or beta, But whatever comes up in day 2, you do have the skills necessary to bring the fight to whatever team he comes up. Because you're basically playing against an alpha bracket team here, and if you're able to take at least one game off an alpha bracket team after coming off of 2 other games with losses, then you're feeling a little better about those first two losses, I think.
Indeed, indeed. Good showing from them. And kind of like we talked about here, Seal the Deal is going to be able to advance onto Alpha Bracket. Oh, the beautiful hammer throw from Artemis again. I feel like all of Seal the Deal, all of Pandemonium, they all had their moments in that set, which I love so much. I feel like we talked about all the players, which you love to see.
There's a lot to see. There's a lot to talk about from both sides. I mean, Flake had their moments. Dragon here from Seal the Deal also had their moments. Wipeout is a word you saw a lot from Seal the Deal because
Yeah.
of how well they worked together. I mean, it just seemed like wherever one of them was, another one was going to be within like 5 feet of them, as though we're still holding COVID regulations. But Seal the Deal, again, great stuff here. Pandemonium ultimately taking at least one game off and capping off what would have been a less than ideal matchup there. They're ultimately Still the deal going to 4-2, and they are currently well positioned for an alpha bracket spot. We are waiting more results, as you can see here.